So I'm going to start with, who the heck is Michele? They're less and less these days, but originally when I started campaigning in Walworth County and getting out there, people are like, who? You know, I'm a candidate. Oh, who are you? Sign in, whatever. I'm a candidate. Oh, really? Really? Yes. Oh, well, you're brave. So, it's not about, well, maybe it is. Maybe you have to be brave to do certain things. But I'm just a person. I'm a person who is a candidate. And not the other way around. I'm not a politician. You'll be able to spot that right away. I'm not uber polished. I haven't done this my entire life. And I'm not sorry for that. I've always lived in Wisconsin. I was born and raised in Neenah. If you look at manhole covers all over the world, you'll see Neenah, Wisconsin. When I was just in the middle of high school, my mom, sometime before that, had gotten an education. She was a single mom, and she was able at that time to use government support for single moms to get an education, pull us out of poverty, you know, the kind of poverty that has you the subject of welfare jokes and giving tree baskets and things like that. That was the kind of poverty I was in. It wasn't easy for my mom, but she did it. She was brave and was able to find a job in Dade County and moved us there and was able to give me more than I'd had my whole life. She pulled herself up by the bootstraps, but the government provided the boots. I now live in the village of Cross Plains, which, for those of you who are keeping track, that is rural western Dade County. I have a lot of hats in life. I'm really involved in my son's school. I've been a Sunday school teacher on and off for most of my adult life. I've been active in my community for small businesses and for the homeless and for equal rights. And I like to consider myself a bit of a Renaissance woman. I am always learning, always doing. I'm still a terrible gardener no matter what happens. I'm a fantastic cook, ask him. I'm married to that guy right there. His name's Tom. He's a veteran, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because it affords people like me, I cannot be thankful enough for what the people who serve this country have fought for. And so I think I owe it to them as a person. When I see something that needs to get done, that I step up and actually do it and not be afraid to do it. I come from a time when used to have, you know what we used to have now? I come from a time when hard work and determination, education, and you know, that equaled success, right? We don't live in that time anymore. Who's tired of being told, well, you just gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps now? You know, I have a mind to like actually tell Walker what to do with his brown bag lunch, because you know he's not eating one. People don't trust anymore. Zero trust. Zero trust in our government, zero trust in politics. That equals poor voter turnout, right? And when there's poor voter turnout, what is there? We have a cartoon supervillain in the White House. I didn't think it was possible. Oh my God. And that's when I stopped joking with my friends about the fact that we just need somebody who's like a normal person to run for office. Because common sense, somebody who's from the outside looking in going, I know you want to do it that way and everybody thinks it, but that's not how democracy is supposed to work. I was a social studies nerd most of my life. That's not how it's supposed to work. So why run? Why run? I noticed that no one is speaking up. Nobody's speaking up. But everybody's tilting at windmills. And that's making people frustrated, right? And those of us who are all on the same rights or same side of human rights, stop staring at the trees and see the forest. It's burning down around us. We are all in this together. If we don't win, none of our policies will matter. So we gotta win. People issues over party issues. We need to find a way to communicate the things that we hold dear and human rights in a way that everybody can relate. If we become more relatable to the new voters and we change the dialogue, we need to change the dialogue. We cannot use the same jargon that the party from the right has used to spin the people against us. It's easy to say climate change, but have many people up north who really want hunting and fishing lands really figured out what they're going to do when those are all gone? Both of those scenarios get us to where we want with environmental issues, but we have to know our audience and speak to them and not write them off. The greatest threat to democracy to date is a beaten and apathetic electorate, right? People are tired and they're broke. And if we want better schools and better roads and better wages and better jobs and health care for everyone and public safety and true justice and equality, we need economic reform. If we want economic reform, we need government reform. Rich people shouldn't, just the top 15% of people shouldn't get to make decisions for the rest of us. If we want government reform, we need election reform. It is time to stop pretending that throwing money at an election is the only solution to winning. In this economy, regular people have been forced to problem solve without the benefit of lots of money. It's the government's turn. I'm personally done watching my home, Wisconsin, fall apart. And you want a governor that needs to not be afraid to stand up for us and face any threat to our quality of life and well-being. Do you think I don't see the obstacles? That I'm basically an unknown? That I'm not, the one everybody's like, well, she's definitely gonna win, let's back her. Well, you know what? Walker wrote a book about unintimidated. He's never met me. Because I'm not. What do you think supporting a candidate like me will say to the voters? But I was talking before to another candidate who's a lesser known candidate. What do you think the subtle lack of support says to the voters? By August of next year, I guarantee you I will have the people's attention. But what's better is they will know they have mine. And that will bring me voters. It's time to do the unexpected. Because otherwise it's like blah, 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 blah. They have tuned out our message. They've tuned it out. It's time to show everybody the variety of people that make up the Democratic Party. Choices. More choices means more people are interested. More people are interested, more people show up to vote. People think Walker can't be beaten. I'm sorry, that's BS. Everybody's like, oh, he's scary. When I decided I wanted to run, people were like, oh, you need like $15 million to do this. We're going to get to back it. And you can't just bump the system. You're doing it wrong. Well, Walker is a man in a suit. He is not scary. He's just a man in a suit. And he's not a particularly clever one, is he? He certainly isn't using his own ideas. And what do you think he's going to do when he's put up against a soccer mom? He's not going to know that I'm any kind of threat until it's too late. And I'm a better reflection of the people than him, or anything that can be put on the right. Could you imagine that debate? He'd never see his defeat coming. There are more ways to gain the skills for leadership, organization, and diplomacy. And life in a suit and never having been a hellraiser isn't the only way. And I have less than a year to beat him and to prove to you that that's true. And I am just getting warmed up.
Michele. And next